news. But for the time being, of course, we are going to put the spotlight on the Indian market and, what it means. Foreign investors, like we mentioned, have now reduced the selling that they've been doing in this market, at least in the last couple of sessions. Prashant Paroda, Portfolio Manager, Emerging Markets at Allspring Global, is with us. Prashant, great to have you join in. Thanks for being with us. Season's greetings, which you all at home and your team, a very happy Diwali, all those who are celebrating. So let's start right there. Thankfully, the market has given investors reason to feel a little more cheerful this Diwali because things have started looking up here, whether it's flows, whether it's earnings. Your first thoughts on India?
Yeah, and happy Diwali to all of you as well and your viewers as well. So I think India is positioned pretty well going into the end of this year. We possibly have President Trump and Prime Minister Modi meeting happening at the end of October. Uh, Hopefully, there'll be some clarity on where the trade deal and the 50% tariffs, how it will impact at least the Indian export sectors. But overall, the earnings season has started on a pretty good note. You heard you just talking, Reliance retail numbers were better than expected. HDFC Bank was also close to expectations. So given the underperformance of India over the last year, I think if earnings come through, the market is well positioned into the next year as well.
Prashant, hi, morning. Looking spiffy over there. Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali to you.
So should we, we started this year with, it's just been a frenetic year so far, right? So much news flow and you don't know, and beyond a point, no one knows anything, what's going on. But the market's kind of been, in a way, immune. Tariffs, what we began the year with tariffs as the big one, but it's kind of faded into the background. Even here in India, we've got these big tariffs which are on, but markets doing well. I mean, look at China. It's kind of, that noise has faded into the background, Prashant.
Yeah, the noise has faded because ultimately the market has understood that President Trump is looking to do deals. And the numbers, whether it's 50 or 100%, typically they do end up, if there's a deal, do end up coming down by a fair amount. So the market is kind of overlooking these kind of big announcements that come because essentially the market is understanding that this is just a way for President Trump to sit across the table and do a deal.
All right. Hi, Prashant. Good morning. Good to see you, Ben. What about Chinese market? In the last 1 year or so, we have seen a big outperformance coming in from there. Do you think bulk of that has played out? It's time for a bit of a catch-up trade from the India market perspective because they're no longer at 10, 11 times odd. I think it's moved more like 15 times. Do you think India has a chance now to outperform after underperforming last 12, 15 months?
Sure. And I think one of the things is on a sustained 15 times earnings level, like the Chinese market hasn't held that for long periods of time. But what has helped China this year has been definitely the AI trade, and that has re-rated some of the big names such as Alibaba and Tencent. I think a lot of clarity will come from, again, President Trump and Xi meeting possibly at the end of October as well on whether the semiconductors from NVIDIA and others do end up going to China or not, and whether rare earth happens or not. But underlying the economy, you mentioned the property numbers. Not much is moving on the property front for China. So if the AI trade fizzles out sometime in the next year, I think that's a big risk to the Chinese market.
Okay, so we need to see what happens to that AI trade because till now, Prashant, most of those dips have been bought into. But actually tell us that. I mean, that could be a big trigger. If the AI trade does fizzle out, then that's a massive move for fund flows around the world. What is the probability of that happening, you think? And what could the implications then be? I mean, should we get excited here in India if there is a fizzle out of that trade?
Yes, I think what investors and what your viewers should watch out for is that whenever there's a big capex announcement in US, the stocks move a lot. So Oracle and others, and it reminds me of what happened in 2006, 2007 in India, where a lot of the infrastructure plays announced kind of capex, and the stocks moved, but ultimately it's the execution that matters. So I think at some point these big moves will start fizzling out, and at that time you have to worry a lot about, because it's unclear to me whether OpenAI has the capital for all their pronouncements. And maybe, there's still some time for the AI trade to fizzle out, but I think when OpenAI becomes public, that's when we'll realize, what is the real valuation. And that might still take a year or so for that to happen.
All right, Prashant, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Wishing you and your family a very happy Diwali once again.